Ladies and gentlemen, fight fans all around the world, let's talk some boxing. So, if you guys do recall on PBC, Carl Frampton was knocked down by Alejandro Gonzalez Jr. Alejandro Gonzalez showing a lot of promise, even though he didn't have as much experience, and I had a lot of determination, a lot of heart against Carl Frampton. It was really quite an amazing performance. Well, here's a quick update. Alejandro Gonzalez was murdered not too long ago. I think it was last month, December the 9th. The news was written here by Steve Robson, Martin Duman, and it was as a result of a cartel hit on his family. So that's crazy. And on BoxingScene.com, Carl Frampton, he's paying respects to Alejandro Gonzalez Jr. at MGM Grand. Now, I remember Carcino covering another fighter who was murdered in Detroit. I'm trying to remember. That fighter had a lot of promise. I'm trying to remember the name of the fighter. I just can't remember right now. It all points to the background of some of these fighters in boxing. I think of Carlos Molina. Carlos Molina is an excellent boxer, super welterweight. And, he had a rape case on his hands, and he was seen as, a sex offender in the United States, and they actually had to be extradited back to Mexico. Some of these guys have some backgrounds or come from places where, if it wasn't for boxing, they would be criminals, some of them. And what's also amazing is that sometimes, even though people seem to be progressing in the right direction, sometimes their environment still destroys them. And I thought I would just mention these things in boxing. Because Alejandro Gonzalez, his father, was an excellent boxer, beat the likes of guys like Kevin Kelly, and was really a name in the super featherweight, I think, and lightweight divisions, or I think it was lightweight. I think in the lightweight division. I think super featherweight as well. Alejandro Gonzalez Jr. was a featherweight. Gave Carl Frampton quite a fight. Frampton, of course, took over the fight as the fight went along, but still great beginning with Alejandro Gonzalez. Good boxing skill, and it's really a sad loss. So Carl Frampton, he pays his respects to slain Alejandro Gonzalez at the MGM Grand. You guys have a great one.